This is Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for games you'd like me to look at here on the channel, please let me know. Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Dissecting Design. We are taking a look at one of the most famous and well-known indie games of all time, and that is Cave Story. Developed by Pixel in 2004, which, my god, I feel old just saying that. Cave Story is a very interesting game in the indie landscape. It's considered by many to be the first, I guess, real breakout indie game in terms of the mainstream. Now, of course, we've talked about many other indie successes over the years, from Introversion, Crow Team, Spireweb Software, and so on, but Cave Story was one of the first indie games to really show off the potential and creativity that could come from this market, especially in a time when it was still considered like frowned upon or looked down at for most indie games. Like I just said, it came out in 2004, so this was long before digital distribution took over, long before the summer of Xbox indie games, and this again was during that time when most people think of indies, they think of the shovelware that you find in the bargain bin at like a Walmart or a Target or something like that. But we're going to talk about what made Cave Story so interesting and kind of its legacy in today's video. We're also going to be jumping around a little bit as we go through, but let's begin with the start of the game and talking a little bit more about its design. Alright, so we are officially at the start of the game, and Cave Story, for those of you who haven't played it, definitely draws upon the Metroidvania genre. A lot of the games are going to be about picking up upgrades, finding new items and gears that help us get through, and of course not dying. Now if you listen to this music here, if you can hear it, that is very reminiscent of the Metroid item upgrade. Now if you notice, we don't have any weapons to start with, so the first thing we need to do is grab a gun. Now, Cave Story features a very interesting mechanic for how the guns and weapons work, and I'm not 100% sold on it, so I'm curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. In Cave Story, every time you kill enemies, there's a chance they'll drop these golden triangles, which you'll probably see in the next like 10 seconds. As you pick up triangles, the level bar that you can see in the upper left starts to fill up. Die. Every time it completely fills up, the weapon goes up in level, which in turn makes it more powerful. The downside is whenever you take damage, it empties some of that bar, and it is possible for a strong enough attack to completely lower the bar down and you'll go down in level. But because your level affects both weapon range and damage, this can be pretty damning if it happens during a boss fight. You'll probably see leveling up in a few seconds. I am saving because death will start us back at the last save point, and there are some parts where it's easy to die if you're not careful. Die. Look at that thing. There you go. So you can see level 2 is a little bit more powerful, and then level 3 is just like a full-on blaster. Another thing to keep in mind is that the game, I believe, features all original art assets and design in that sense. And one of the things that made Cave Story stand out, especially from the other independent games at the time, was the story that went with it. For those of you who watch Indie Game the Movie, you can sort of tell like how much a good story can really help elevate a developer. You know, the hardships that go into design and the personalities behind it. And the developer of Cave Story, as the story goes, basically developed this game single-handedly in his spare time, the original version, not this remaster. And again, this is a very good game in terms of its design, again, its originality. Despite featuring lots of cues from other action-adventure games at the time, it does enough things different that makes it stand out. So we just picked up a little scanner there. Now, the gameplay of Cave Story is mostly linear in terms of its main story. We have to go to certain places, perform certain events in order to get things to go. So right now I need to head over here. And we'll get to the first boss, or I guess the first quote-unquote official boss in Cave Story, and then we'll skip ahead to one of the later fights. Now, despite the linearity of the main quest, there are a bunch of optional things you can find. There's health upgrades, unique weapons, and there are several endings. And if I remember right, there's also an optional, essentially super challenge that you can go after if you know what you're doing. Alright, so he just got knocked down. And there's nothing else over here. You'll notice that I'm going to be looking up a lot, and that's simply because the up on the analog is very sensitive, it looks like, for Cave Story. So we're coming to the first boss. Once he's done talking. And the different difficulty levels will also mix up what items you can find, as well as making it a lot more nastier. On hard, I believe there are very few health upgrades, if any at all. Another thing about Cave Story that I really like about its art design is that even though everything has that very old school, almost like a cutesy look to it, it does tend to get a little freaky when we start running into like the monster versions of characters. Alright, yep, come on. I guess that's a sentient suitcase. Yeah, we gotta fight, we gotta show off. And all the bosses in Cave Story are pattern based. There we go, nothing too bad. Again, this was on normal as well. And sadly, no boss loot to get. Now again, not too bad of a fight, but as we're about to see in the next few seconds, it is going to get pretty tricky. Alright, so he's been captured. Or, I'm sorry, she's been captured. We're going to have to come over here. And I just want to kill enough enemies so that we can actually show off the level 3 weapon in this stage of the game. So I don't get killed here or get any kind of damage. Alley-oop. I'm just gonna barely miss it, I think. Can't do that just yet. Should be like a little worm that pops up around here too. Alright, we got the key. Alright, I'm going to skip ahead and we're going to take a look at one of the, I guess this would still be like the early mid, I guess, part of Cave Story. But I'll see you all in a second. Alright, welcome back. We're a bit further in and we're about to fight one of the the first real challenging fights. So for normal mode as well. On hard, it's another story. You can see my level 3 weapon here. I also have a missile launcher and this fireball. And we're going to be needing all of it if I want to stand a chance. Now this fight also will probably be a good example of why I'm not a fan of the level system for the weapons. It can make a one hit just cost you an entire fight if you lose your power. It wouldn't be so bad if the weapons kept their range, but because they get weaker and shorter distance, it becomes a lot harder to effectively fight a boss fight, and become almost a battle of attrition in some cases. Die, 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 I say. So we're basically just fighting a giant frog here. Yeah, I'm about to get hit. No, I'm good. And he's about to get a whole lot nastier. Also switching my fireball. Fireball does more damage, but it's a lot harder to aim with. Oh, no, he got me. Eat missile launcher. Also, if I'm playing this on hard mode, I don't get access to that missile launcher. Oh, I'm gonna get hit. Say die. Die. But again, notice that this is definitely a pattern-centric boss fight, and that's kind of one of the saving graces for the difficulty of Cave Story, is the fact that it is all about just figuring out this pattern. The bosses will not do anything like stupidly crazy, but if you know how they respond to your attacks and your motion, it is possible to win without taking too much damage, which is pretty much what you need to do if you want to have any chance of beating it on hard. Alright, Balrog, are you dead for good this time? Nope. Another thing that I want to talk about while I'm trying to complete this quest, first I want to save, is that Cave Story has been ported and remastered many times. And that's kind of has helped to lend to the fact that it is a very recognizable indie game. I think at this point it's been ported to just about every platform, I want to say. Even I think the 3DS got a version of it. As well as, I know, I think that the first time I played this was on the Wii. And again, this is like, despite coming out in 2004, it really has become a popular part of the game, or popular part of the industry. I know there's a ton of fan art and all kinds of support for this game around the internet. Now right now I'm trying to complete a quest. In order to do it, we need to collect 3 components to build a bomb, so this guy will make it. We have the jellyfish juice and the gum base, but we of course need charcoal. And the game does like to hide a whole lot of things around. I'm going to switch to the fireball just to show it off. And those spikes are instant kills if we hit them, so that's why I like to save a lot in this game. And then just for your viewing pleasure, we'll switch back to the missile launcher. Hopefully I will not get killed. And all we need to do is get some charcoal. Enemies will sometimes drop rockets as well. Alright, will she give it to us? Oh, that's right, I need the... We're gonna need 2 things of juice then. 1 to open the fireplace, and 1 for the bomb. Oh! Whew. What I'm also going to do just to show it off is I'm going to purposely take some damage here. So as you can see, every hit really drains your experience bar and then we level down. And then when you lose a level, weapon becomes weaker and it becomes hard to actually aim with because it has such a shorter distance. And like I said, I'm not a fan of that kind of design. I think it definitely can turn battles into a war of attrition. And take one bad hit during a boss fight and you can basically say goodbye to it. This is why part of the advanced strategy of Cave Story is to keep multiple weapons leveled up. So, you know, switching to the weapons like so. So that way you have at least a little bit of an experience buffer. Ah, damn. Come on. Come on down, buddy. So what I'm trying to do is get to the other... I hope this is where we get the charcoal. Getting a lot of like pooky characters around. Let's see, will this work? Ah, so we need a little bit more of the jellyfish juice. And again, the game can get a little bit repetitive with going back and forth for some of these quests, but it does present a lot of interesting areas to go through. So I'm going to play a little bit more here, and we'll be back in a second to look at maybe some later game stuff. Alright, I fast forwarded ahead to where I have a bit more toys to show off, and we can talk a little bit more about, I guess I would say a few of my complaints with Cave Story. The first one is that some of the areas do get a little bit crazy in terms of fetch quests or having to repeat sections. There are parts where you basically have to collect certain items or find certain things, and it requires you to go in and out multiple areas, and what happens is every time you do that, all the enemies reset. And this can make it very frustrating to have to repeat things, especially since there is no reward or anything like that for killing enemies other than getting your experience back. But, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the experience system of the game because I think it tends to make things I guess I get into a, I'm trying to think of the right expression. Oh, I know. Either a positive or a negative feedback loop. Once you get your weapons fully leveled, you're going to be very powerful. But taking damage and losing those levels makes it harder to kill enemies quicker, which leaves you more susceptible to damage, and it can become very frustrating. Now, one thing that I do like about the game, once I finish these guys off, is the variety of powers and items that you do get. If I can get out of this water. I will eventually get the ability to quickly get in and out of water. Right now I have a little bit of a jetpack. If we zoom over here, you can see I also have something that reduces the amount of experience I lose. So the game knows some of its issues, and it does take steps to rectify it. Oh. I think we're about to fight another boss too. But there's a section before this when you enter a desert zone that requires you to hunt around for missing dogs. That can be a little bit time consuming. So let's see. I'm pretty sure we're about to fight something bad. Ah, yes, I think this is going to be one of the story elements. Let's see if I'm right. And there's a number of these throughout the game, and if you want to get like to the crazier stuff, you need to do some exploration. Yes, I think we have to go, I think, underwater at this point. I'm using the combination of my little jetpack. Let's see. There we go. And I think we're about to fight. Yeah, I think this is a boss coming up. And I think this is the one that we only have a certain amount of time to beat, or we get a different ending or a different path. Let's see. But as I was saying, the game really carries through its Metroidvania roots pretty well, and the fact that you get a lot of different abilities that are designed to enhance and get around some of the limitations starting out. Again, when you begin, it's very easy to lose levels, but finding the right gear or finding that arm guard will allow you to restore things more, which gets around one of my earlier complaints. But for those of you watching this, again, what do you think about this kind of limitation with the experience system with your weapons? Now, it's not so bad when you have like 3 or 4 of them, but when you're starting out, it does tend to make things a little bit harder than they should be. So I figure let's take a look at this boss, and then we'll head to the finale. I believe we're about to get some trouble here. Again, the game does a good job of telling a very darker story, despite the limited graphics. Oh, jeez. Gotta use the combination. Now, I don't like, one thing, the ability to do this kind of double jump, or this floating, you don't get it at the start. You have to make use of your machine gun to do that. But until you get it, it means that you are kind of forced to make use of this, and if you take any damage, you lose the ability, since it's only for the level 3. Eat missile. That ain't gonna work. Trying to get my sword fully upgraded because that gives me a very strong attack. Oh, running out of air. There we go. Ow. Damn. I am very sure I'm going to die here. Oh wait, we're still good? Oh, now we're in trouble. I believe we get her shield, that little bubble shield, in the next part after this fight. Sometimes you just gotta brute force it, right? What are you doing, buddy? But I do like the variety of the bosses in the game. And they all, again, are very pattern-based, which you'll see in the final part of this video. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to survive this. I think he's about to shoot a colossal beam at us. If I was playing this on hard mode, whoa! I probably would have been dead many, many times already. Die. Eat sword. There you go. That's fully leveled up, which gives it a whole lot more power. As you can see right there. Oh yeah, now I remember. Oh, and you can see that I lost the level. Come on, buddy. Get out here so we can finish this. But yeah, some of the areas do get a little bit fetch quest heavy. And like I said, it is a little bit annoying having to repeat fights simply because there is no real reward. Once you have full health and full levels for your weapons, it's just busy work, essentially. But it's kind of unfair to complain fully about Cave Story. Again, this game was released in 2004, and to model like older designs. Come on. Open that, your peeper. There we go. Got him. So that's the heart of the island. And as we get further in, we'll unlock more upgrades as well. There's our bad guy. Oop. I believe this is the part where we have a bit of a situation. Oh no, help me, help me. Don't know how a robot loses consciousness though. And I think this is the part where we can either let her drown or we have to try and get the water to drain out. Uh-oh. I may have accidentally just killed her too. Oh no. Well, that ain't good. But again, this is just one of the many choices of the game. And I think we'll begin to wrap things up. And to do that, we're actually going to go backwards and look at one of the earlier boss fights that kind of talked about, or kind of goes into that idea of the fact that these simple graphics tend to create some pretty disturbing characters. Anyway, I'll see you all in a minute. I figured to wrap up the video, we can show off this cutscene as well to give a good idea of how, despite using the very 8-bit or pixel style graphics, that they were still able to deliver a very dark story and goes through a lot of different themes with it. So, unfortunately, our friend here is about to transform, and that means it's going to be up to us to deal with him. One second, so I make sure that we are recording this. There we go. There's me. And unfortunately, we got trouble. Hey. Again, you can see this like the demon eyes on that thing. Again, just doing a lot with very little. Again, this is just a good example of a pattern-based fight. Just gotta figure out what they're doing and get around it, and we can get through without getting hit. Goodbye. And unfortunately, we just killed our friend. But we got a new weapon. Probably a cutscene here. Oh. And we're being sent to another area. Oh. And don't worry, for those of you who didn't play the game, we'll eventually get our revenge later on, but not in this video. I just wanted to show off. As you can see, our weapons are definitely growing in power. And again, it kind of leads into that positive feedback loop of once we get a strong weapon, we can kill enemies quicker, which means we are less risk of getting hurt. But if we do get any damage, then it becomes harder to repair, because if we lose our weapon level, we can't really get it. As you can see, these guys are being a pain. But yeah, let's end things here. I could actually just like fly up for freedom, but we'll wrap up our play here. So again, Cave Story definitely holds up in terms of its design, and that's kind of an example of what makes the best games. They're good enough that they can really transcend the time they were made. And even though this is still a very much a retro game, it still holds up in terms of its Metroidvania-like design, as well as the story and mood it puts out. So I'm rocketing up out here. And if you want to check it out, it is certainly available. Chances are, if you have a game platform, be it handheld or otherwise, there's probably a version of this game out there. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you would like to suggest a game for me to look at, good, bad, or otherwise, on future Dissecting Design, be sure to let me know. I'll just rock it on back down. And other than that, I will catch you all next week with another Dissecting Design, and of course more videos daily here on the Game Wisdom YouTube channel. So until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and of course share with your friends. It always helps out. For daily posts on all manner of game design and industry topics, check out game-wisdom.com. To support the site and everything that I do, be sure to check out the Patreon campaign. If we can hit goals, it will mean more content for everyone to enjoy, and I'll be able to support myself and my household. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitter at GW for updates throughout the day and random thoughts from me. And lastly, you can find me on Twitch right over there at GW for daily streams most nights around 10 Eastern. Thanks again for watching the video, and be sure to check out more great content coming to the Game Wisdom channel real soon.